Good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of Xa Talk Show. You are looking at me and Alan, Captain Alan, at the Meta, one hack away. It's amazing. So me and Alan, a friend from Discord, went to the Facebook headquarters and we see the Meta. So what topic are we gonna do today? So Ahmed says PowerShell. Okay, let's do some PowerShell. I got some other. Okay, let's do PowerShell then. So today is 2022, January 12th. Okay, so let's go to today's talk show. Let's do some PowerShell then. Okay, today's talk show. Let's focus on talk show. And let's do PowerShell then. Okay, so let's go to notes, and there's some PowerShell to do. So PowerShell write a rename file to hash. You know, when you have lots of files from the internet, especially image files, you know, they usually have random names. If you know what I'm talking about. So one of the great, they have bunch of random names. So one of the way to organize those files, especially duplicate image files, is to organize them, to rename them so their name is their hash value. So that's one of the things we can write. So you guys post questions, comments, and questions. Okay, keep the chat going, and let me know which of the PowerShell you like me to do. So rename file to hash, rename file to their hash value. That's one thing I can try to do, and report file name length. Okay, that we can do as well. Then replace string. So this is find and replace in PowerShell. Actually, this is the one I'm more interested to do. So without any comments or choices, I'm just going to do that. PowerShell find and replace string. Okay. So let's go to talk show, today's talk show, PowerShell, find, and by the way, the pink window is my Emacs commands. You can see all my commands, command calls, my keystrokes, the keystrokes I typed, or the command names that corresponds to the keystroke. I'm using Softfly keys. I'm using Softfly keys. This is a source code, 4,000 lines of code, and here is the home page. Softfly keys, a efficient Emacs key system, and I'm also using Vorak keyboard. And you are looking at my keyboard. So Vorak keyboard, if you don't know, layout. This is like lottery, you know, roulette. I'm using a Vorak keyboard, so that's what it means. Softfly keys with Vorak layout, fantastic. Okay, and of course, you are looking at my ergonomic keyboard. I have reviews, buy it. Kinesis Advantage 2 and Ultimate Hacking keyboard right here. Okay. So without further ado, so let's go back. So let's go to that was my keyboard blog. There's lots of things actually, there's lots of topics, I want to talk about. But PowerShell today, okay? So go to talk show in browser. Let's type what we want to do. Write a PowerShell find and replace script. Okay. Actually, there's, so yesterday we did a talk show about find and replace among different languages. Yesterday or the day before, and there's a lot to do. So let me show you. Okay, so PowerShell find and script. Okay, so let me show you what's going on. So go to replace. So you can see in this directory. Let's clean it up. So in this directory is all my find and replace scripts in different languages. So let me turn on my cursor position so you can see where my cursor is. Comments and questions, okay? Tag me, and I'm gonna get to them, okay? So you have find and replace in Golang in Perl, in Python, and a regular expression version in Go, in Python, and in Wolfram language, and in and also and in Perl, okay, Golang, Perl, Python, Golang, and PowerShell and Wolfram language. Okay, so I don't have one for PowerShell here yet. That's what we are going to do today. So when you write a find and replace script, there are two or three types. It's usually better to separate them. Okay, let me explain them. So one of them is find script. Okay, so one of them is find. So where's my talk show? So find script. You might be wondering, why do you need to write a find script? Because in Bash, grep, in Unix grep, it's already there, and lots of variations. There's silver, whatever. There's over the past 20 years, lots of people have written like faster parallel versions. So anyway, but by default, there's a grep, or there's already. And on Windows, in PowerShell, it's very easily done. So let me go to the PowerShell. So you are looking at the PowerShell Windows console. So in this directory, talk show directory, you can see now if I want to find all lines that contains the word Haskell, for example, so I just say the recurse file and include, I want all files ending in HTML. And okay, so then you want to select it. You want to find all the lines containing Haskell. So how do you do that? You do select, I believe it's select string, okay? Select string Haskell, okay? Do it, okay? So there it is. That's all the files you can see. Let me show you highlight, okay? So that's all the lines that contains the word Haskell highlighted, and it also shows you the file name in the beginning. Let me move it here so you can see. It shows the file name. For example, let's look at this line. Okay, this is, it shows the file name, the position, the occurrence position in that line, and this is the line, and contains the word Haskell. So the point is, you already have grep on Unix, by default on Linux, on the Mac, and you already have PowerShell, so easy. Why do you need to write a find and why do you need a script that is dedicated to find strings? Let me explain. Because I'm dissatisfied with this grep or the PowerShell version. There are many problems, okay? Let me explain, okay? So let me write it down, okay? What is the point of writing a find script when there is already Unix grep and PowerShell? Okay, why is that? Okay, let's what is the point? So let me explain. There are lots of problems with find and grep. So in order to explain that, let's just go to my website, Xali, problems of grep, problems of Unix grep. Just search for it. I type a key and it automatically searches. Okay, let me close down this window so you can see the command I called is xa lookup. So let's widen it. So okay, it doesn't. So anyway, that's command. That's all the commands and keystrokes. Delete. By the way, that delete key is right here under my thumb. So you can see. So I just search for it in Emacs, and here's the result. There it is. Problems of calling Unix grep in Emacs. Okay, select, copy, paste it here, make a link, delete that, remove that. So we have a record of what we talked about. Okay, so now the problems of calling Unix grep in Emacs. Well, not just in Emacs, but the Unix grep itself have lots of problems. Okay, so what's some of the problems? Let me explain. Okay, if you're gonna do it in Emacs, there is the external program problem, because if you are running Emacs in Windows, you don't have grep installed, and Emacs, all the Emacs grep commands, they rely on the Unix grep, so you have to install it. Then it's a headache, because they are, today it's much better, but used to be you have to install the Cygwin. Okay, today the young generation don't know what I'm talking about, so let me just show my articles. One thing at a time, and we are digressing into lots of things. Installing Cygwin tutorial, Cygwin essential install list, Cygwin path and window path conventions. That's a major headache. The window path has a backslash, although it also supports the slash. But the Cygwin, the path is a major problem, major headache when you do lots of shell scripting. It's a major headache. So it's a major headache when you run Unix stuff on Windows. That's 1990s and 2000s. But of course, today you have MK6. You have MK6 as a bash in Windows. Today the latest is the Windows Linux subsystem in Windows. So, and you don't even need that today, because the PowerShell came up. PowerShell is pretty old. PowerShell began in 2003 or so. But until 2008, it became stable and very popular, PowerShell built-in. So when I switched to Windows this year, last year, April or something, I was thinking I'm gonna either install Cygwin or let's try the Windows subsystem for Linux. But it turns out I don't need it. Why do I need Linux? I don't need the fucking Linux. You typically on Windows, all I need is the Unix bash shellback commands. But now PowerShell is actually a magnitude better than bash in just about every way. The design, the naming, the documentation, the PowerShell is just a magnitude better than bash. Okay, for those of you Unix fanatics or Linux fanatics, you might say, oh Kasa, what are you saying? You lost all credit. You haven't heard, you haven't watched, you haven't read enough of my rants yet. Okay, so back then you have, let me show you. Okay, Cygwin is a classic. It's beginning in 1990s. So I have a tutorial. This article is 2009 Cygwin. So let's paste it here. So you have Cygwin. How to install it? Then you have Cygwin essential install list. That is, if you are on Windows, if you came from the Unix, sysadmin background, which is I am, and tuned to the open source stuff, Perl, Python, or the bash, or the Apache, MySQL, the LAMP stack, the LAMP stack. Now it's an Asian jargon, you don't call it LAMP anymore. But if you came from Unix background, you want those. So Cygwin is one of the solution. And once you install Cygwin, you have like the question of what, there are thousands of programs, which one to install. So I wrote this in 2011. This is the essential list. You need zip, unzip, bzip2, xz. Those are the essential decompressing, the Unix software. There are so many variations, compression and decompression and archive. Then you need OpenSSH, very important. For SSH, you need CS certificate. You need to, Cygwin install that. Then you need Git Subversion. Now this page is written in 2011. You see, so now today Subversion is like dead, but back then Subversion, like Git and several others, are fighting for it. So of course Git won with the GitHub, and they are now owned by Microsoft. One Microsoft way. You open source fuckheads, you idiots, don't know nothing. That's what happened. They are owned by Microsoft, and then the open source fanatics, they say, oh, now let's switch over to the Wolf something, another new GitHub. what's the name? You guys know? Say something, okay? Am I still going? Let's see. Check status, video check, audio check. Okay, so GitHub got bought by Microsoft, but there's a new one. There's quite a few, but they kind of died. So I'm talking about history. Then the Linux open source fanatics say, "Oh, we're gonna switch." The problem is the issue they never thought of is that when you become big, let's say you are an open source fanatic, you believe in open source or free software foundation, you believe the ideology. So you work yourself, then you are successful, you're working hard, you are smart, you work, after 5 years, you start, you have a company and successful. Let's say you have a GitHub, a web interface, Then Microsoft comes in, but you don't get money, like no money. You are very poor, almost always you are very poor. Then Microsoft says, knock, 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 knock. hey, I heard you made this great program. We would offer you $1 million to buy it. And what you're gonna do? You're gonna say, yes, oh, thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Fuck you, open source, fuckheads. That's what all you do. So all these programs, they got bought out. Then the open source fanatics, who are not involved, they'll just say, oh, look at Microsoft, so evil. They just buy things and kill it. No, that's because you sold out. Because, that's natural. Because you work hard, why not? Microsoft says, $10 million, they're going to buy it. Why not? You're going to sell it. So all the, basically that happens 99%. That's basically that way. If you become successful in open source, someone will value it and buy it. Then you will sell it. For 99% of the time you will. Because money. Because that's natural. So anyway, so that's a lot of digression. GitHub subversion dead. So this here is a list of the essential Unix tools you need, make, patch util, make you need because oftentimes you need to, when you install something Unix, you need make, and patch util is kind of also obsolete. You don't hear about that much anymore because Git took over. You see, before Git or before subversion, before all this, sometimes you need patch util. Patch util is that when you have a, let's say, okay, let's see this. Okay, let me show you. Okay, vcdiff. Okay, that's a Emacs command. So you can see the current file, the talk show today. This file you are looking at. Now my website is on Git. Git. So you can call the command vcdiff, and it returns this thing. So plus means new additions, minus means removed. So for example, I can remove something. Let's remove this part. And let's see, vcdiff, you can see now the minus is red. You see, so this is a diff file. Then you can use that patch utils to, for example, if you have the same file, I can send you the diff file. Then you use the patch util to merge the changes into your file. So that's what patch util is. So these are the essential Unix programs you need. You need rsync. You need Unison. Unison is also dead. You see, rsync is one-way sync. You sync your file or directory to a server or from one machine to another. Okay, that's rsync. It can also be used locally. But that's one way only, one way. So Unison is two-way sync. So for each file that differs, it can check which one is new and update, and either way, to or from. So, but Unison is also dead. And by the way, Unison is written in OCaml. OCaml, the powerful functional language, better than Haskell. okay, so unison, and then you need curl, you need reget, and then Aspel is also dead. Okay, nobody uses Aspel anymore these days. And of course, you need image magic. Graphics magic is replacement. PNG is a tool that to optimize PNG files, because PNG files usually it's bulky, they have redundancies. And so each one of these actually I have a tutorial. So you see, exif is a Perl program written in Perl that removes metadata from your image files. So you have a bunch of image files. You can call this program. You can just call by this. Okay. There, you call this command line, then you remove all metadata of JPEG file. So I have a tutorial on that. Anyway, so these are the essential list. Okay, so I talked about lots of random things. Let's go back here. VC diff, okay. Emacs. So let's type them out. So we have kind of a topic of what we talked about. GitHub essential list, and move on. Okay, and here is another article about Cygwin path and window path conversion. Very complicated fuck. That's part of the complexities of software engineering. Because you thought programming language, you have the programming language, you have the Unix philosophy, you have the Unix shell, you can automate anything. Why don't we just automate anything? But when you actually do them, like working a job, every day you are spent, why the fuck it doesn't work? Or why the fuck that doesn't work? You spend hours every day just to get them to work. Cygwin path and Windows path conversion. Very highly complicated fuck. And this is written in 2009, okay? So next, so then Cygwin is one solution. Then beginning in 2008 or so, 2010, you have, you started to have this VirtualBox becomes very popular. So you can run Linux in Windows, So back then I was dying of hunger. I don't have money, so I was running on a PC that's from Walmart, $500 PC, the cheapest. and I need to run Linux, so you install this. Okay, so that's some of the articles. Okay, so let's clean up. So let's clean up and okay. Let me just okay, that, then show in browser. So we have a record of what we talked about. Okay, we haven't get to PowerShell yet. Okay, so I was going to explain why do you need find script. So back to the previous level of hierarchy of discussion. Why do you need to write a find script, since there's already grep and so easy in PowerShell as well? Let me explain. Close that. So yeah, so back to this. I'm gonna read the comments in a bit. Okay, problems of calling Unix grep in Emacs. So if you are running Emacs in Windows, you have the installing external program problem, Cygwin or others, or Linux subsystems, on Windows. You have the Unix shell quote escape problem. That is one of the biggest complexity in software industry. One of the biggest, if not the biggest. That is the escape, the C fuckheads, the C language they invented, okay? The C language invented the escape thing, this kind of thing. The fucking C language, the Unix fuckheads, they invented this thing. Then it's complexity, extreme complexity. Because have you ever, if you've been programming for a few years, you'll know. So what's the complexity? Let's suppose you want to grep. Let's say, okay. Okay, so you see this directory. You see this directory. There's lots of programming source code. You know, if you are a programmer, you might have thousands or 10,000s of source code, right? Source code they might contain regular expressions and so on. Now, suppose you want to find, you know, there's a bug. You want to find search, you know, grep, Unix grep, the greatest power tool, you know, Unix grep. You want to find all occurrences of these backslash and backslash t. You want to find, you know, all occurrences. What can you do? It's nearly impossible. Okay, this is a simple case. What if you want something like that? Okay, for example, you know, a lot of you guys doing web dev, right? Web dev. This is an image file. This is a regular expression for parsing, you know, HTML image embedded image files. The height and width. You know, so in your source code, you know, doing web dev, front end or back end, JavaScript or Node.js or whatever, Golang even or Python, you know, web dev, back end or front end, you know, you probably every web dev source code contain kind of this line, okay? So but there's a bug, you want to locate it. So how do you search this? You want to do a grep, you know, find a string that looks exactly like that in one of your source code. That's almost impossible because the escape fuck, you know, so if you go to bash, you know, I don't have bash, you know, I don't have bash since I don't have bash installed. Actually, I probably do. Let's see. You know, because I noticed git installed bash. So let's open a new tab. By the way, right now I'm using the Windows terminal, not the PowerShell. Okay, so let me show you the difference. So you're looking at, you see these two different, you know, Windows. This one is the Windows console. You know, that's the Windows console. You know, window kind of terminal thing. It's been around for like 30 years. But Microsoft, about 2 or 3 years ago, they started a completely new program, the Windows Terminal, and it's fantastic. Lots of features. You know, I don't care for fancy, you know, new features, but rather I care for critical things. For example, on the new terminal, you can display Unicode. Okay, lots of digression. Let me show you. For example, this directory. Okay, so let's cat. Help cat, I believe the program name, get content. Okay, so let's magnify. Okay, okay, 1000 digressions, and I'm not done yet. Okay, so clear screen. So let me show you cat. Okay, magnify. Okay, yeah, magnify cat Unicode Unicode animals. Okay, do it. You see that girish, question square, question in a square. You see that question in a square. Okay, so that's a problem, and it cannot be fixed because this program is, you know, because they need to maintain backward compatibility and so on. But in this new Microsoft not here. Okay, so in this terminal here, so you got cd2 web sali info comp. Okay, magnify now. Cat Unicode animals, do it. Magnify. So let's see, where is it? Okay, so you see, there you have it. You see animal heads, Unicode animals. You see Microsoft Windows Terminal, the new thing, fantastic. But meanwhile, in this Microsoft console, you see this crap, question mark square crap. Okay, so that's a progression of the Microsoft. Microsoft actually did a lot of great things in the past 10 years, and they are now all open source. You see, the PowerShell I'm currently running, it's 100% open source. Plus the .NET, it's 100% open source. And in fact, they stopped, developing the Windows-only PowerShell or the Windows-only .NET. So .NET now is 100% open source. That's what Microsoft is doing. Now, is it good or bad? I wouldn't say it's... I mean, ask yourself, if you are a Unix open source fanatic, do you think it's actually good? Not really. Why? Because the open source fanatism, the idea itself, got lots of problems. So anyway, so that's the advantage of Unix terminal. Okay, so what am I doing? So I've been going over digressions and digressions. Okay, exit. So I talked about Unix terminal. Okay, Microsoft terminal. Okay. And this is about Unix escape. Okay, so let's make it that C escape syntax. That's one of the damage. That's one of the permanent and perpetual damage to the programming industry. And I haven't explained, or actually I did, but I haven't actually showed you an example of how this, how you're gonna grab that. How you gonna do it? Can you do it? You Unix philosophy, Unix, Linux fuckheads. Can you answer the question? Okay, this is not a troll. You think, oh, troll your ass. I want to grab this literal string. How do you do that in grep? So you're gonna start to escape, and in shell, it's gonna be fuck. It's gonna be a fucked up fuck. That's what it's going to be. So why? So that's one of the problem of the Unix grep. Because usually when I say, I wrote a Emacs version or Golang version, and this Linux Unix idiots, they'll say, oh, why do you need to do that? Just grep. They don't know. So if I want to grab, let me show you how do I do this in Emacs list. Okay, Emacs list find and replace. Let me do it right now. Okay, so I'm just call the command 3 keystrokes. You can see you see that 3 keystrokes space K cause find replace text. Okay, let me do it again. Space K, then paste it. Now magnify the mini buffer so you can see. You see the mini buffer? I pasted that. And press enter. Replace string. Okay, I don't want to replace. So actually, I want the find version. So do it again. There. None found. Okay, because I'm not in this directory. So, but let's open this file. You see, I'm open this file in Emacs. Now let's do it again. Search for that. Actually, this will not work. In this directory, HTML files, it will not work because you still need to do the escape. So how do you do that? Let me show you, okay? Okay, so this is a string we want to find. But if you're gonna grab it, so this is not because it won't work, because the C escape, fuck. Because in Lisp, it adopted, in Emacs Lisp, it adopted this escape crap. So you can't just grab this literally. You have to, let me show you how to do it, okay? You have to add the backslash, okay? Okay, so this is gonna be, I'm not even sure that will work. Backslash slash. Okay, let's try this. Okay, I'm not even sure that works. So search for it, magnify, paste it, do it in this directory or HTML files, not found. So, it's going to be a headache. You can spend I did many times in the past 20 years. You spend an hour, you cannot find the right escape. Very complex, especially when you involves, in Emacs that needs to talk to the shell, that needs to, that runs bash, to many levels. So one of the actually easy solution is to bin 64, a bit of this string, then in shell unbin it. If you know what I'm talking about. Was it not bin 64, something like that, hex 64, I forgot the name. Search for it. Bin 64 encoding, okay, I forgot what's the name. Hex 64, base 64, okay, base 64. 64, okay, let's copy that. Okay, so I talked all over, so let's go back to talk show. So let's just, this is a headache. Put it here, kind of make it like that. Then problems of Unix grep, do it. So shrink the whole thing. Now, so far that's what we talked about. Okay, and we haven't finished the problem of calling Unix grep. So external program problem, Unix shell quote escape problem, okay, dependency on familiarity of Unix shell syntax. You see, because Emacs lists regular expression, and the Unix shells bash regular expression, grep or the grep regular expression, they are different. Okay, they differ quite big by quite a bit. So, if you are an Emacs user, you are familiar with you are familiar with Emacs regular expression. But when you need to find some text, then you need to use the Unix regular expression. Why? Because Emacs depends on the Unix grep. It doesn't, it depends on fucking idiocy. So that's another problem, okay? So I'm talking about this page is about calling Unix grep in Emacs. Many of these problems actually happens applies to grep itself, not just Emacs, just when you run grep in the terminal by itself. So let me explain, okay? So for example, the escape is a problem in grep itself. But when you call Emacs, you call grep from Emacs, that adds the complexity because the Emacs needs to send your string to the shell. Then, the escape mechanic. So first of all, it begins with the Emacs string. So you need to properly encode this in Emacs string. Then you need to pass this string to the shell, the bash, the grep. Then, it's basically impossible. So another problem, dependency on familiarity of Unix grep, because they have a different regular expression, okay? I was talking about this regular expression not compatible to the Emacs regular expression. So you have two regular expression syntax you need to fuck about. And another thing is dependency on the familiarity of Unix shell syntax, because the Unix grep, depending on what Unix you are on, BSD or Mac OS or the Linux, which is GNU, the GNU util, the grep, they have different options, incompatible. So if you are an Emacs user, but now you need, imagine Emacs is the best text editor, right? So one of the things you need to do in text editor is find strings, right? But when you want to use Emacs to find string, you need to learn the Unix grep syntax. So Emacs is the most powerful editor? No, I don't think so. But fuck, all the other text editors have grep built in. But when it comes to Emacs, you need to use another program which has a different regular expression. Fuck the Emacs phonetics. Why do I fuck this, fuck that? Because when you show these opinions, like politely to the Emacs, typical Emacs elite hackers online, the famous Emacs bloggers, online everywhere, they'll laugh you. They think you are idiot, okay? They think, oh, no, they don't know. They fucking idiots. Ultimately, the reason is because code and the open source phonetism. Because, for example, when you show this article to these popular Emacs bloggers, I know their response because I've been knowing them, talking with them, arguing with them for 20 years now. Their response is that some of them, at least, they'll say, yeah, okay, they'll say this is valid reason, but even them, it's impossible to change because there's the whole code beneath them. I mean, even if they are willing, they agree with me, you cannot change anything in Emacs. So lots of problems, okay? So interface problems, different regular expression problems. You need to learn the Unix version problem. That's not all. There's more, okay? Unix string problem, okay? The Unix grep have a fucking bug, okay? So it's documented here, okay? Another page. Let me show you. Let me paste it here, okay? Linux shell util Unix Unicode Bug. So, for example, if you have a file, I don't have a Unix Unicode installed, so I cannot demonstrate it. But you can do it. If you are on Unix, you can try this right now. Okay. So if you have a file containing these characters, okay, containing these characters, and you want to call the Unix unique command to remove duplicate lines, okay, it doesn't work. Okay, so for example, you want to do this, remove the duplicate. It doesn't work. You see, the output is 33 equal. It thinks I have 33 lines of equal sign. So it consider all these to be equal. That's Unix. That's a Unix philosophy. Fuck. The words the Unix. Fuck. But Unix goes by propaganda. It creates a code, so nobody knows this. When it comes to everyone is like, oh, Unix is the best. Unix is the best. Unix is the operating system that began when you have a bug, just crash because restart is fast. Let's just crash it. That's the design of Unix. That's the meaning of Unix philosophy. The New Jersey philosophy. So that's history, okay, in contrast to the Lisp community. So, okay, so here is the Unix Unicode bug, okay, and they don't consider it a bug because the Unix, they say, they have actually, I don't know if it's fixed now, but you can look, okay. So lots of digressions. Okay, so let me finish this because this is, right now I'm trying to explain the Unix grep problem, the grep utility, and so far I only covered half of the reason yet. I already talked for 40 minutes. And okay, so you see the Unicode string problem, okay. Then you have the problem with long search string. For example, I do web dev, right? So for example, this block of code, you see, that block of code is a Google tracker. Basically every website you see, they track you using the Google's tracker. I too, including all the open source, vast majority of it, including most, okay, now depends. I mean, so this is a Google tracker, okay. It's used by the top 4,000 website, the most popular website, Google tracker. So I do a lot web dev. So I have 20,000 HTML files in my directory. You see, I have each one. So for example, this Perl tutorial, you open the file, you can see you have that. But however, sometimes I want to know if maybe I missed it. Some files is missing that tracker. So what I do is I need to grab this block of text, okay? Copy it, I need to grab this block of text. Now, if you are a Unix fanatics, you will say, oh, let's just Unix grep. But Unix grep, they cannot grab multiple lines, okay? That's the fundamental problem of the grep Unix fuckheads. Unix grep, because Unix is line-based, everything is a line. You cannot have multiple lines. That doesn't, Unix grep. You can do it. You have to put it in a file, okay? You have to specify an option, a file name. You have to put this text block in a file name. That's how you do it in Unix grep. I like this, okay? I have full detailed explanation, but nobody reads it. Okay, this is how you do it. But let me show you how I do this in Emacs, okay? So copy that. Press one button to copy. Let me show you the pink window so you can see what keystroke and what command I'm using. Okay, so press a key, select that script tag block. Okay, press a key, copy that. Now press 3 keys to call find text. Paste it. You can see in the mini buffer. Paste that. Search all this Perl directory. Yes. Regular expression, file name extension, HTML, yes. There it is. Shrink. You see, you move the arrow, it can, you see, the pink lines are file name. The yellow is the found instance. And you can jump to it, like press enter, you jump to the file. You see, show in browser. So this file is Perl, list available modules, this module search path, a tutorial, okay? So that's how you do it. So this is the Perl version. Let me show you the Golang version, okay? So let's go to, not Golang. Golang version is best used for find and replace, but let's go to it. Let me just show you, okay? So Golang, so you go to find Go. I just okay, so here's a Golang version. So where is the part you say the string? Here, okay? So it's here. Delete that, paste it, okay? Multiple lines, okay? Now you need to give it a directory. So what directory to search, okay? Copy the file path. Now go back here, select that, paste, okay? So this directory, okay, Perl. Now just run it. There it is. Go needs to warm up, that's why it's a bit slow. So if we do it again, then it's instantaneous, okay? So now open it. This is a result, okay? You see, here's a result. Go all the way to the top. Now call find mod. So in Emacs, so that will highlight it. So you can see same result. I can move the cursor, let's shrink. I can press the arrow key and move around all the occurrences. Or I can move by file, move by the previous file or jump to the next file. Press enter to open it, show in browser. So this file is Perl hash table, a tutorial. Okay, so back to Emacs. So you can see there. So this is how you find why it's useful. Find multiple lines. Grep. If you're gonna do this in grep, it's first of all you have to save these multiple lines in a text file. The fuck Unix. Okay, I'm going to read comments. Okay. So you see, so why do I write? Why do you need to write a find, script to do find? Because Unix sucks. That's why the Unix grep sucks, and the people, the Unix idiots, they don't know. Now, over the past 20 years, there's lots of replacement for grep. For example, Silver. I have a blog about it, but I forgot where. So it's easier just to search for it. Grep alternative. I have so many blogs, I forgot which file, but you can see, grep alternative. Let's see, so, these usually all these are fucking scum websites. They are written by idiots. They are they are ad spam sites. Grep alternative, 25 plus similar file search utilities. 25. This site is gonna tell you 25 of them. And then this one, grep equivalent. Okay, this one, I don't know what a shell hacks. Usually they are all spam ridden, churned out by spammers. Low quality, fuck. Then this one, okay, this is great. Stack Overflow, okay, regular expression grepping using the vertical line alternative, okay. Then this one, Unix.com, I don't know what the fuck that is. Okay, let's just open one of them. This is old page, whatever. It's not even the Unix.com MySQL database has encountered a problem. Let's open this one. Okay, this is spam website. Alternative to God. This is machine generated spam fuck by some coders, by some the open source fuckheads. Like you typically you don't know. You think you are not them. They are. That's you. That's you, guys. That's you. Some of you among you, the fanatics. Spam. They machine. They are developers. They write. They crawl all the website. They troll information and use machine to generate this page so that they can get traffic. Like usually there's a difference between. There's several of these kind of things. Difference between. And here's grep alternative. Okay, so what is and this other crap. Okay, rip grep is one of the new one. The Silver is a new one. Okay, I don't know what's the other. ACK. Okay, the ones I know that's genuine is ACK. Okay, ACK, Silver, and rip grep. I think the older the year, the history, the way the older they happened is rip grep is the latest. Silver or rip grep, I forgot which one is the latest. ACK is probably the earliest. Okay, I might be wrong, but I forgot. So that my point is just telling you that over the past, especially in the past 10 years, there's like new grep every few years. So these new greps, I believe some of them fixed some of the problems I mentioned about grep, okay, about problems of grep, Unix grep. So okay, so I was explaining the multiple lines problem. Okay, then there is file directory filter file directory problem. Okay, this is not a strong point here. I mean, it's not a strong criticism. And then there's so the most important items on top. So the other issues is too many incompatible versions of grep. In Unix history, you have grep, egrep, fgrep. Then I believe the GNU merged them into just grep. That's Unix history. Okay, you have egrep, fgrep, and grep. They all use different regular expressions. Okay. Then you have the grep is not powerful enough for nested syntax. That's true. That's also important because regular expression, by their original history, their design, is for theoretical computer science of formal languages. That's what regular expressions are. They are expressions to represent linear non-recursive grammar of languages, meaning just string, meaning just a bunch of sequence of symbols that's not recursively defined. That's what grep, regular expression, quote unquote, that's original meaning. In theoretical, now this is important, okay, because most of you don't know, okay, the Unix people, idiots. Regular expression, original purpose, how they came up, and the meaning, why is it called regular, is because it's a tool it's not a tool, it's not actually a tool, but it's a theoretical thing, okay, to represent in theoretical computer science of formal languages, meaning just syntax, okay, in formal languages, theoretical computer science, to represent a pattern, to represent languages that are regular, okay. Here, the regular means essentially, in practice, in a way easy to understand, regular language means a sequence of symbols or characters, a sequence of characters that is not defined recursively. So there's no nesting whatsoever. That is why today you cannot use regular expression to pass anything nested, so that's what regular expression originally was. Then it became a tool, Unix became a tool. Then they started to enhance it and stuff then. So, but I mean, the important thing is just to know that regular expression originally is different thing than today. But, we as programmers, we use regular expression. It's extremely useful just for the purpose of searching text. Okay, it's almost has nothing to do with the original purpose whatsoever. And it has nothing to do with regular expressions anymore. I mean, regular expression is actually a bad name because the proper term should be originally, I mean, it shouldn't be regular expression. It should be a scheme of a syntactic representation of non-recursive languages. Okay? Let me say it again. A scheme, a syntactic scheme to represent all linear languages, more or less. Okay, that's what it originally was. But anyway, but then it becomes a Unix tool, and we all use it today. So the way we use it, the proper name should be just a string pattern matching tool. Okay, it's not regular expression fuck. Okay, it's just a find and replace tool. That's a proper name as far as we understand it, as far as how it is used in the industry. A tool to find and replace by string patterns. Okay, that's what it is. So grep is not powerful enough for nested syntax. That's true. So that's why, that is another reason, because when you use regular expression, you really don't care whether it's a linear, formal language or not. All you care is that you want to use a pattern to search a bunch of files, okay? But oftentimes your files contain nested things such as HTML, SVG, XML, Golang, C, JavaScript, Python, Perl, Ruby. They all have nested construct. The curly braces or parentheses, nested. So you want to be able to parse them. So usually you cannot do it with regular expression, at least not in one shot. So usually what you do is you find for example, let me show you. Okay, oftentimes I need to find, you know, title. Okay, for example, I need to know if my 2000 HTML files, if it's missing a ending tag. Okay, so you see this title, you know, usually you have the beginning tag and ending tag. So I want to know if I'm missing an ending tag. Can you do it with regular expression? No. But however, you can using multiple regular expression. For example, you search, first of all, you search for that, then you search for that, then you grab the string in between, then you search for if there's you know, something mismatch, you know, something in, you know, so you still use regular expressions, but not in one shot. Okay, that's what you do. That's you know, that's happens in vast majority of text processing programs. But would it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if you have a kind of a scheme to represent any nested expression? That would be fantastic. Actually, there's such a tool called parsing expression grammar. Okay. So I talked all over. Okay, so I don't even know. Okay, parsing expression grammar. Okay, you can search for it. You will find the Wikipedia parsing expression grammar. Okay, but as far as I know, that hasn't become really practical. But however, I want to tell you, Wolfram language does have a system similar to regular expression that can represent nested grammar. Okay, Wolfram language. Now I haven't explored it, but okay, let me just show you the documentation. Okay. Where's the key? What's the key? Okay. Okay, first of all, let's do that. Yeah, okay. So let's go to the documentation. So this is how you represent regular expression in Wolfram language. Okay, so Wolfram language does have regular expression. So all these things are familiar to you. But however, it has a alternative. Let me show you where. String patterns. Okay. Yeah, okay, where? So string expression, there it is. Okay. So string expression is Wolfram's own scheme to represent string pattern. Okay, and this string expression is much more powerful than regular expression, and it can represent nested grammar, language with nesting. So that's what I want to tell you. Wolfram language. That's why it's very expensive, but it's free. Okay, so you can buy it. Just search for Xali Wolfram engine. You'll find my tutorials about it. I talk about this often, Wolfram language often in my videos. Okay, that's a long digression. Okay, let me stop. I don't know, where we're going. So we didn't get to code PowerShell. I'm just beginning to tell you why do you need to write a script to do grep. Okay, and we talked about why the problems of grep. Why do you need to write a script in Golang, in Python, or in PowerShell, in whatever. And another thing I want to tell you I didn't mention. Let me just finish that. Then I'm going to read the comments, and that's it for today. Okay, another thing I didn't mention is that when you do a grep, okay, let's see sigwin. Okay, so let's say I want to grep sigwin. Okay, I'm using my Emacs find tool package. Okay, so grep sequin, do it. In this directory, so you can see all these are occurrences. Now notice something. Okay, normally when you do in grep or in PowerShell, let me show an example. Okay, so let's this is how you do it in PowerShell. Okay, grep sequin. So you see, again, it's line based. Just like the Unix grep. So you have the file name, then you have the line that contains the word sequin. Okay, line based. Okay, this is important. Remember, line based. So, but there's a problem with line based grep because you don't see the context. For example, now look at my list version. Okay, so this is the result for my list version. You see, it not just show you the line, but however you can specify how many characters before it should show and how many characters after it should show. Okay, so you can see the context, the actual context, not cut off by lines. Okay, you can actually see the context when they occur. Can you do that in Unix grep? No. Can you do it in PowerShell grep? No. Select string. PowerShell has the proper name, select string. Okay. Can you do it? No. Can you do it in XA Emacs find package? Yes. Okay, so show you the context. Why is the context important? Because suppose you want to search for title. Okay. So let's just do it. Okay, title. Okay, so you can see what comes after the title. You see, but if you do it in line based, you cannot. Okay, let me show you. You see, title. You see, you cannot see what happens after the word you just searched. That's a problem. That's a line based fuck. Line based is the Unix philosophy fuck. Because Unix back then, in the 1990s, 1980s, any file, anything cannot have lines longer than 80 characters. 80 characters came from the the punch cards, because there are 80 holes. 80 by 24 holes. That's where the terminal. You see all these terminals? These old terminals, 80 characters by 24 typically, or 80 by 40. This one is, for example, 80 characters by 24. It's smaller than this. That 80 characters by 24 would be like something like that. Okay. So that's what that is. This is a very popular terminal, and this is a very popular terminal. So this is back in 1978. Okay, so that's what this. So my point is that Unix back then, they truncate lines when it's over. When you have a text over 80 characters, it silently cut it off because they are too idiotic. They cannot handle it. The C fuckheads, the C Unix and C fuckheads, they are C coders, right? The Denise Ritchie. Oh, it's too long. Let's just cut it off. Fast and simple. Fuck Unix. That's what Unix do. To this day, the Unix created a code that to this day, many of the programmers, if you look at the Python conventions, coding style convention, Golang, C++, Java, any of them, almost all of them, you will see a coding style guide. Oh, please, when your lines is more than 80 characters, please, truncate. Fuck Unix. Okay, I think that's it. So I talked about, let me wrap up. So I talked about the problem of the grep, the history of regular expression. Why do you need to write a find script, you know? Okay, that's it. Okay, so I'm going to read the comments. Pay me, okay, guys. You liked my video, you enjoyed it as a comedy or as a tutorial. Pay me, okay, like buy me a drink. I'm done for today. 1 hour ramble. Today's talk is gonna be titled Why Unix grep Sucks. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm gonna read the comments. Will you, okay, one of the comments, will you react to a YouTube video? Which one? That depends. Usually I don't do those things, you know, reaction videos. That's a Malaysian idiocy. So Nick Maleki says, Xa, check out the Windows video on my channel. I'd love to see what you have to say. Paste the link. Just paste the link. I might, you know, I don't. Actually, go to Discord, okay? You guys go to Saudi Discord, join. Then we can, you know, maybe talk. And also, lots of people, you know, because I'm a little bit popular, I'm kind of, you know, because I've been writing blogs for 20 years, and now I'm doing YouTube. So I have a minor problem, the celebrity problem. Every day I'll get email. Xa, look at this. Xa, what do you think of this? Xa, you know, every day. Then they, you know, people gonna friend me on Discord, on Twitter. You know, I don't know who they are. You know, so I that's a minor problem. That's a celebrity problem. So if you want me to look at video, you know, just post it. You know, maybe you can. Let's see. Okay, that's good. Newton's method, you know, Wolfram language already have solving solutions built in. So, okay, another day, because today is already, we talked for 75 minutes probably already. That I agree. I kind of agree. Okay, too many, you know, you have to tag me if you want to ask me a question, okay? Bye, guys. You know, be careful with your comments, because I don't want YouTube to reduce my whatever. It's already pretty bad. Now, what the fuck is this thing? This VORONG thing? Can post link. Yeah, that's right. So okay, let's look at your video just for let's try if it work. No, it doesn't. So you have to whatever. Fuck. Look at the YouTube, this spam and scam fucks. This Malaysian. Most expensive iPhone. The face. You fucking Malaysian. So let's go to talk show. Today's talk show. So there's a video right here. So here is your link. I mean that's your So let's open to Sound Talk Show. Let's click on that. So we get the real link. Close it back to Emacs, and now paste it here. Remove that. Conjoin them. There is your link. Okay, let's go to it. Okay, I don't know. This is too long. So what's the point?
In theory, I can build anything I want from scratch, and this is something I couldn't do on Linux.
I'll watch offline.
The equivalent tooling on Linux wasn't in. There's also the Adobe.
Bye, guys.